blessed that you decided to join us today. Today is going to be an awesome one. Joining us back here on the Danny Johnson Show is our friend Jonathan Cahn, Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. This man has made such a big difference in my life. Years ago, when I got a hold of his book, The Harbinger, he's a New York Times bestseller. He has spoken before Congress and the United Nations. His books have gone all over the world. I had the chance to meet him live, like in person, shortly after The Harbinger was done, and interview him on this radio show before it was actually a television show, and had such an incredible connection. Got to visit his church in New Jersey and meet the people that he's been leading for many, many years. You are so blessed to have this time with Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. He's got a brand new book. I can't wait for him to tell you about it, because his last two books have made a major difference in my life. Jonathan Cahn, welcome back to the Danny Johnson Show.
Danny, great to be with you. It's always a joy. It was a joy when we first met, and I'm so glad to have the chance to touch base again.
Yes. Well, I wanted to tell you that the interviews that we've done with you have been some of the most popular ones on our YouTube channel. Oh. So people have really enjoyed the time of seeing you on this program, and so I know they're just so excited to see you again.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now, before we talk about your new book, I got to talk about your last book, The Shemitah. Okay, so you remember I called you. First of all, no, you called me and you said, Danny, God gave me another book, you know, and it's called The Shemitah. And you started explaining it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I like fell to my knees. I'm in my bedroom. You're telling me about Jonathan, God has been talking to me about for 7 years about taking a sabbatical year, right? Yes. And so right away you get the book to me. I burned through that sucker so fast. And then, of course, we get on the phone again. We did an interview about the book. It really made a major difference in my life. Major. But more so, our clients. People canceled debt to the tune of tens of millions of dollars worth of debt that they canceled that people owed them. And therefore, we would be on here all day, all night for the next week, just telling the stories of the people who had debt cancellation come to them as they canceled other people's debts. The craziest miracles, even judgments in courts working for the person that should not have had the judgment work in that direction. All the odds were against them. They had canceled a debt against their ex-husband and released him of all of his back child support. And then bam, the woman got insane favor in the courts with something that was completely unrelated. So we could go for hours and hours and hours telling the stories of how that book impacted our clients' lives and how our last interview impacted our clients' lives. But in the Shemitah, you mentioned about it being the year of Jubilee when that was coming up. So guess what I did?
What?
I've been off for the last 2 years.
Wow.
I've worked an average of 5 hours a month in my office. I've done nothing besides our First Steps training seminars, and that's it. I have not been involved in the day-to-day stuff with our business. Our business has grown.
Wow. Amazing.
God is so good. I'm so amazed of the prophetic voice that he has planted in you and how it truly is prophetic. And you know when someone has a prophetic gifting because it actually comes to pass. And so your work has spread to hundreds of thousands of people of our clients who have benefited from it. So I'm so excited to have you back on, and I'm so excited to hear about your new book, The Book of Mysteries.
Well, Danny, thank you. And the thing about it is that you take the word of God seriously, and when something is of God, you take it and you give it to everyone you can. And that's the difference. And so the stories that you're telling, they're unique. The fact is that you know, the Bible says that you take the word and God will honor it. He will answer it, take it. And that's exactly what you did. And God blessed. It's amazing. Quite amazing. Because in the world, I'll just give you a little thing. This is the other side of those who don't take it. Yeah. You know, what turned out to be the Shemitah of 2015 turned out to be the worst year for the stock market in 7 years. It was an economic cessation. It was actually the worst crash since 2008. That's the other Shemitah. Yeah. Global trade came to virtually a standstill, worst time since the last Shemitah. Commodities collapsed. Oil collapsed. It was the worst year for earnings. These are people who didn't take it. It was the worst year to make money in 78 years since the Shemitah of the Great Depression. And so there were stock stock market crashes all over, and actually some of the greatest stock market crashes happen in the month of Elul, which is the peak of the Shemitah. So it's there's a forced cessation, for those who don't. But that's the other side, and yet you have a story of praise because, for God, all things of God, if you follow them, blessing. Yes. Don't follow them, no blessing.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's amazing. I love that update, of what actually happened, because you predicted it. You predicted all of that in that book, and it came to pass. And so on the other note, we have clients whose businesses are exploding like crazy in 2015 and in 2016. Like I said, I haven't been involved. I mean, an average of 5 hours. I just came back from a month-long vacation with my husband, and then I was home for 2 weeks, and a month before that I was in Nicaragua and in Honduras. I've been traveling around the world, working on myself, getting myself healthy, getting myself strong, having this time of rest, read the Bible 3 times through, cover to cover. Like, it has been a spiritual rest, an emotional business one, and God has just blessed us. Check this out also. This is crazy. My oldest daughter, who was never in a million years ever going to live anywhere near us in Texas, she moved with my 6 grandchildren and her husband. She's been now here for a year, lives 3 minutes from us. My second daughter, pregnant with her second baby, is living with us right now as they're buying another house. So there's just crazy miracles that have happened by simply following that.
And that is the Bible. It says, now this is the Jubilee. It says that everyone shall return to their family. Yes. Everyone shall return to their family, to their possession. That you'll restore what you lost, or everyone. It literally says you'll return to the family. So I don't think they were trying to fulfill that, but they did.
No, I didn't. I totally forgot about that in the book.
Yeah.
Gosh.
God is amazing.
He really is. He really is. So come on, what's next, Jonathan? What is next? Because it always seems that what you talk about comes to pass.
Yeah, well, as far as America, we are, America has been racing away from God. I mean, the faithful are like you, and others are following, but the culture is moving away. And one of the things, Danny, when we were speaking about the Harbinger, is when the template, the Harbinger, is in the last days of Israel. These signs appeared in the land, warning them to come back to God. They ignored them, and they headed out to judgment. Well, we're watching the same signs. The Harbinger is showing the same signs are happening in America. Well, one thing just happened this week. I haven't really even been on any media I haven't said it on any media, and that is it happened this Monday. In the last days of ancient Israel, this is the template of the Harbinger. The people, they didn't just drive God out, they were worshiping another god. The god was Baal. Baal is the substitute god. He's the idol god. He's the god of their apostasy, Baal. They offered up their children to Baal. And so that's what they were doing. But now, of course, in America, we don't have idols, of course, but of course we do. We just don't call them that. But so the thing is that here America is following the same pattern as ancient Israel. So the question is, could the sign of Baal, or in Hebrew, Baal, could that actually appear on American soil? And the answer is it appeared this Monday, and it happened right near where I am. It happened in New York City. I actually witnessed it. I went down there. I can send you a clip. We just got it. What they did is there was, in the Middle East, there's in Palmyra, Syria, it was key for the worship of Baal. And they had an arch through which that was made to go to the temple of Baal. All the worshipers of Baal would go through that arch. Well, on Monday, this Monday in New York City, in City Hall, outside in the park, they erected the arch to Baal. In New York City, the arch to Baal.
It said that?
Playing Middle Eastern music like you can imagine in Baal worship. The woman there, the people who spoke said, we're going to rebuild, just like the Harbinger, we're going to rebuild stronger, and we're doing this as an act of defiance. So here, I mean, and there's so much to this, but this was the God that was being worshipped in the time of the Harbingers, and now even that sign, it's standing. It's going to stand for at least a week. The arch of Baal that led to Baal in New York City. So it does not stop, and it's stunning, and it's real.
Oh my gosh! You have to be kidding me! And that's what they actually said. They used those words?
Here's the thing, Danny. I was down there, and there were some other believers, and then the rest weren't believers. But yeah, they didn't use an amplification system, but they were recording it, and I'm listening, and I'm saying, "Did I hear that right?" And I asked my cameraman. He said, "No." He came to me. He said, "She said we are doing this as an act of defiance. We will rebuild." That's the harbinger.
Yes.
And not only that, the people who, the original, what they were rebuilding is an arch that was destroyed. And, in the harbinger, Israel is rebuilding what the Assyrians destroyed. And so they're saying, we'll rebuild well, the people who destroyed the original arch was ISIS, who are the Assyrians. So we're literally specifically saying we will rebuild what the Assyrians destroyed, exactly what Israel did.
Wow. This is crazy.
I'll try to, if I can get you, I'll get you images of this.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's so overt, and it's showing the culture is progressing in this way. The signs have never stopped. And I'm not going to get political, but I will just tell you this for those who have the harbinger, that I wrote it several years ago, and in the harbinger, Donald Trump appears in the harbinger. I will not tell you where, but you can find it. But the fact is, we are entering such a crazy time, but the template has not stopped. We are progressing along the template, so we need to pray.
Wow. Right when you said that Donald Trump was in there, I completely remember that part of the book.
But if you recognize he's actually quoted, and it's linked to Isaiah 9:10, the harbinger scripture. But I didn't say it outright, but it's in the footnotes. But they can find it.
Wow. I can't imagine what is going through your head when you encounter these crazy fulfillments of prophetic words like that God literally spoke through you, and he actually is bringing it to pass so clearly. And to me, at this point, it's like anyone that doesn't pay attention, I hate to say this, and I can say this because it's my own show, is basically an idiot. That's just all there is to it, is anyone who does not pay attention. Someone that does not pay attention to this after all of these signs have been predicted and they have come to pass. I can say this on my own show. They're just being an idiot if they are not paying attention. Like, this is just crazy to see this kind of prediction coming to pass the way it is. This is Danny Johnson. We're going to continue with more with Jonathan Cahn right after this.
Rabbi Cahn's first two books were life-changing for millions of people. After the break, he and Danny will discuss his new book. Don't miss a minute.
Do you dream about feeling more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? But instead, you're that girl that never learned to do their makeup, and now you feel lost in a sea of YouTube makeup tutorials. Or you're that new mom that can't get enough sleep at night and just wants to feel pretty again. Or the busy professional that wants to magnetize brand new clients and get more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, xmhbeauty.com will help you. Our company has a proven track record of making beauty available on any budget, from celebrities to girls just like you and me. Our live classes, step-by-step tutorials, and insider secrets will have you standing out from the crowd. Go to xmhbeauty.com/Danny today to get your free gift from us. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
And now, back to the Danny Johnson Show.
Wow, is all I have to say. What a blessing to have Rabbi Jonathan Cahn with us again. Every single time I've had the chance to interview him, even meet with him, talk with him on the phone. He truly has been a rabbi for me and has made a major, major impact on my life. I mean, tremendous impact with his books as well as conversations like what we're having right now. So really, that's what I wanted today's show to be. Why? Because when your spiritual life is a mess, everything else is a mess. And we're setting apart today's show for it just to be for you to hear from a New York Times bestselling author who had never written anything before besides the sermons that he taught at his church. He's obviously a Messianic Jew from the line of Aaron. What a blessing to even to hear somebody that comes from that bloodline. He has an awesome testimony himself, but he has a third book out. His first two books majorly changed my life. First book, The Harbinger, you have to get it. I bawled my eyes out when I was reading it because I was like, I'm not alone, because I had been teaching the same thing, that America has to turn. America has got to repent. There's things that are coming that if she does not pay attention, she's in trouble. And this book lays it out, but from a biblical perspective. And then the Shemitah, wow. I could tell you stories for hours and hours and hours of what's happened in my life and our clients who paid attention to the message. I actually taught the message and promoted his book, and our clients' lives have never been the same. But now he's got a new book, The Book of Mysteries. So Jonathan, talk to me about this new book. What is The Book of Mysteries? I'm so excited about it, by the way.
And I have a copy right here. I'll just show you what it looks like. You may have one. I don't know how to do this on Skype. I'm not good with Skype. But the Book of Mystery, here's the thing. If the Harbinger is the opening up of a mystery, if the Shemitah is the opening up of a mystery, the Book of Mysteries is the opening up of hundreds of God's mysteries. The mysteries of God's, mysteries of heaven, mysteries of overcoming, mysteries of Israel, the hidden writings of the rabbis, mysteries of finding your destiny, mysteries of the Bible, mysteries of every, of all what I believe are the greatest, most profound mysteries, and ones on everything. And the thing is that there are things in here, there are mysteries I have never, as far as we know, have never appeared anywhere, and things that, because there's no end to God, there's no end. And so the thing is that the way it is, Danny, is I did it like the Harbinger, in that it opens up with, it has a narrative. A man journeys into the wilderness and there meets a man called the teacher. And the teacher takes him on a journey, an odyssey, a 1-year journey through the desert, on mountaintops, caverns, chambers of scrolls, chambers of vessels from the time of the Bible, all over. And every day he opens up a mystery of God for him, every day. So it's a 1-year thing. So there are 365 mysteries. So therefore, it can be, you could read it right through. It just came out. People are reading it right through. But it also can read it every day. Every day, the idea is the reader is taken on a journey, and that will every day another mystery of God will be revealed, and that the teacher always gives the student, or the disciple gives him a mission to apply, because it's not just to blow you away. I believe people are being blown away, and praise God, but it's to transform your life, because it's to take the mystery, take the revelation of God, and put it into your life and change your life. And I do believe, and I'm not a hype person, I'm not a pro person, but I do believe if they will take that journey and apply it, it will literally change your life. Not just have times of being blown away, but it will change your life.
Yes, man. And what I've noticed is that from the first two books that you wrote, right, is all about taking action. And I've watched people do that, and their lives have been changed. I cannot imagine. I'm going to be so excited about this. Okay, now can we get this on Kindle? Is it on Kindle on Amazon.com?
I'm sure it's everywhere. It is. Awesome. They can get it right now online. It's in Walmart. It's in Barnes and Noble, Amazon, everywhere. I think that you can find a book. You'll see it. It looks like, and I'm not doing. It looks like, you saw the cover. Looks like an ancient book. I mean, you can see this. looks like a book that's actually one of the books. There's a in the story, there's a chamber of books, ancient books that the teacher opens up, and they didn't know it, but they actually made it look just like it.
No way. That's so awesome. This is
I want it to
amazing.
be like a treasure chest that you're opening up and
Yes.
speaking.
Oh my
you know?
gosh. Okay, that is just such my next read. No question. No question. Oh, I cannot wait to read the first page of this because your writing is absolutely amazing, but most importantly, just it's completely biblical and it is completely applicable to what is going on today in our lives. And
Yes.
and the things that we can use right now are from the ancient scriptures that work right here, right now, today, because God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. And so
Yes.
the way God moves you in your writing to communicate to the reader, to cause us to see it, like it just it gets illuminated, it makes sense, it hits us to our very core, and it produces results. And I love how God is using you in that way.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Danny.
So
Yeah,
Danny, so listen, you got to go get the book immediately. We're gonna have the next segment with Jonathan Cahn again. We're gonna get deeper into this book and into his story. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. Did you know you can see Danny Johnson live and in person? Go to DannyJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success, register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DannyJohnson.com/FSTS.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
You would think this would get easier. It doesn't. My name is Mia, and this is my awesome husband, Tony Gray. We're both from Maryland. Prior to plugging into DannyJohnson.com, we were beyond a mess. Probably an earthquake would be a better description. We were very young and married in high school. I was pregnant at 13. I was abandoned, abused, often turned to drugs and alcohol. And we just didn't know what to do. We knew how to put on a facade and come out before people. We worked long hours. He was never, ever home, and he was losing relationships with me and the kids. We were at the divorce attorney, ready just to quit. We didn't know a way out, and our debt, we just hung ourselves, it seems, every day, just going to work, spending, and then there was debt. We didn't know what to do, but after filing bankruptcy twice, you would think, well, you know what to do then. Well, we didn't. We kept making stupid decisions, and we were really just ready to quit. We were ready to give up, and we didn't see that there was any hope. I was actually depressed a whole lot, and since we got married so young, we wanted to be like the rest of our family and be divorced, because we were the only ones that were married for a long period of time. We lost several kids, but God blessed us with that, and after plugging in with DannyJohnson.com, life changed forevermore.
It's funny, I heard Danny talked about Donald Trump, and that was my way of life. He did it. He was a multimillionaire. He filed bankruptcy multiple times, but I knew that wasn't the answer. I was working more hours, had a 6-figure income, and found we were in more debt. But since plugging into War on Debt, in 36 months, we paid off $126,000. To me, it's all about giving back. And my wife has the biggest heart that I know, so it was her mission to not only get the information for us, but to share it in our community. So we had hundreds of people come to classes, but we had 92 people take action. And of those 92 people, in 34 months, they paid off $3.6 million.
Our marriage has been fully restored. Our children are absolutely amazing. They all own their own businesses. We raise 6 amazing kids every single day. And I can't tell you, without the DJU curriculum, without all of the products, We came at the beginning and we were piecemealing it, but that didn't work for us. You know how Danny says when you get the recipe, you need to get all the ingredients and not try to figure out, should I get the egg, should I get the milk? You just get it all and you follow directions. We follow directions and our life has changed forevermore, and we won't go back, we're just going ahead. So without further ado, help us bring back to the stage America's favorite millionaire, Miss Danny Johnson.
Be sure to tell a friend about The Danny Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. And now, back to The Danny Johnson Show.
Your success is inside of a book, the best success book ever written. And I know that book can be really, really intimidating because based on what so many other people have said about it for years and how they've turned it into some religion, instead of it being an owner's manual for your life, instead of it being a book that teaches you how to live financially, in fact, how to even create wealth, what to do with that wealth, how to take care of your physical body, how to be a great spouse, to groom up the next generation that will succeed even farther than you have. That book is the Bible. And joining me today, such an honor and a privilege, my friend Jonathan Cahn, who is a rabbi from New Jersey. You have heard of him. You've seen him all over television. You've seen him all over every form of media you can imagine. You have perhaps read his book, The Harbinger, a New York Times best-selling book, as well as The Shemitah. These books majorly transformed and helped my life in such a powerful, very deep way. And my very first time being able to meet with Rabbi Jonathan Cahn face-to-face in our very first interview about The Harbinger was so impactful. Being with him at church, him walking me through my first holiday of Sukkot was amazing. He is truly one of those rare, humble people that you just don't encounter. I've had the privilege of meeting some of the most famous, the most powerful in Christendom. Jonathan Cahn is one of two that I've seen this kind of humility in. Just two out of scores of people I've worked with and traveled with. Jonathan Cahn, with the level of integrity, he loves his wife, he loves his family, he loves his church that he leads of just wonderful, precious, humble people. And he has not lost himself in the midst of all of this fame that's gone all over the world, yet he has stayed true to his Father in heaven, true to his word and his roots. And so we're going to go into this because it's always exciting. I remember when Jonathan had called me about his second book, The Shemitah. I felt so honored that he called me about it. And he's like, Danny, God gave me this book. It's like crazy. And he's just telling me with all of his excitement about how the whole thing came alive. And then the book just majorly impacted my life. So Jonathan, I got to know. I have to know. I'm so glad that we didn't have a phone conversation before we did the show. So how did this one come about? Because the last two came about in such a wild way. So how did this book come about?
Yeah, this one came that I was led strongly that where we are going, where America's going, where the world's going, believers, people, God's people have to be strong. They have to be rooted. They have to be grounded. They have to be revived.
Yes.
We have to be, we have to be strengthened. We have to be like trees planted by the water.
Yes.
That no matter what goes on around us, we're going to be fruitful no matter what. So I was led to give something. I mean, not only because, there's all these mysteries that I wanted to share, and that there's not kind of one book you can get everything into. So I wanted to share these things, and again, most of it has never been shared in this way. And then the other thing is that I want to though also strengthen and give power and give, because every one of these, as you said, and Danny, this goes very much with you and your people and the audience that you have, because your heart is to transform lives, and so with that, it is that God wants to strengthen,
Yes,
empower his people for such a time like this. So no matter what happens in the world, you're going to be strong. No matter what happens around you, you're going to be prospering. No matter what happens, I know the Lord's shown that to you all the time.
Yeah.
And so this is it's to believers, it's to non-believers, because you can be a non-believer. People are already giving to their friends who don't have God, and because it draws you in. And actually, at the end, it gives a real call to have your life transformed by God. So it's all that, and so I believe it is for such a time as this. So it's not only the revealing of the awesome, incredible mysteries of our incredible God, but also to take those things and literally see people become strong, and find a lot of them lead to finding your destiny.
Yes. And you know what? That seems to be a huge mystery that everyone's trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's the mystery of our life. Ultimately, it's the mystery of our lives, and the mystery of our lives is found in God. You can't get around that. He's the reason. You say he's the reason for the season. He's the reason for our lives. So there's a mystery to every life. It's like every life, everyone who's listening right now, it's like you're a mystery, and God is the answer to that mystery. And when you get everything right, it explodes, and that's it.
So give us one of the mysteries that you talk about or that you uncover in the book.
Sure, there are so many, and it's
I know, 365.
It's a challenge because there are so many. I'll just start it off like this. Well, the first thing is the name in the Bible, and of course you know this, but a lot of people don't. When you're reading it in English, you don't see what's there in the Hebrew, and the name of God is Elohim from the very beginning, a very first noun, Elohim, and that not only can link to the Trinity or the triunity of God, but when that happens in Hebrew, what it's telling you, it's a plural word. It actually is translated gods in other places, but it's God. But the thing is that, so what it's telling you when the Hebrew does it is that the reality behind the word, the word cannot contain that reality. Mm-hmm. It's so big, it breaks out of the ink. That's what it's telling you. When it says Elohim, which is plural for God, it means there is no end to God. No matter how much you know of God, can never, there's no end of seeking him. That's another thing. I want people to be seeking him again, revived again, because there's no end. When you stop seeking him, that you die spiritually, but there's no end. There's one point in the book where the teacher goes to the student, he takes him into the chamber of books and says, how long would it take you think, to learn all these books in this room? And he says, fully, he says, well, it would take lifetimes. And the teacher says, that is why heaven is forever. That's why you have eternity, because that is how long it takes to know God. So we are to be seeking forever. The name of God, now another name of God, and people know it, they hear Jehovah, but
which is not the name.
The name YHVH, it literally means I am. But think about this, Danny.
I was just going to ask you about this, right? Because you just said about Elohim, but it's like his actual name, Yod He Vav He. Those are the Hebrew letters. Yahweh. There's lots of different ways that people have pronounced it. But talk about that, because that name meaning that I am, the self-existing one. Talk about that.
It is the most awesome name. That's when they ask Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, they say, well, how old are you? He says, before Abraham was, I am. Now, I am. It's a name that God said to Moses, and it's called the Tetragrammaton. They weren't even supposed to speak it much. It was so sacred. When scribes would write it down, they would bathe to write it down just to be able to be worthy of doing this. Well, here's the thing about this. People listening, many of them have never heard. There are people who don't hear this.
Don't even know the name.
Oh, it's the sacred name of God. However, in the book, the teacher is telling the disciples, is saying, here's the name of God, and the student never heard it, and he says, well, no, the teacher says, you say it all the time. He said, what do you mean? Think about this. In order to speak about ourselves, if I say I'm Jonathan, you say I'm Danny, you have to say the name of God before you say your name. You cannot say your name before. I am Jonathan. I am Danny. I must say the name of God, because I can only say I am because he is I am, because my existence, it doesn't matter if you're saved or you know God, you don't know God. Your existence comes from God every moment. And so in order to say it, you have to put him first. You have to say I am. Even if you say, listen, I'm sad today, I am sad.
Yes.
If you say, I'm alone, I feel alone, I am alone. Well, you're not alone, because I am. It's with you alone. And so because your existence is from him, and the key to life is not just to live to God. Yes, we're to go to heaven, but it's to live from God every moment. Everything you do, is from I am. Everything you say, from I am. When you talk, it's to be him talking. When you move, when you love, it's to be his love. Everything is to be one. The two shall be as one. So even the name of God, it's the most awesome, incredible, holy, sacred, ineffable name, yet it's the simplest name that we say all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm in tears. Okay, so I have to tell you this incredible thing. I have a Bible that was sent to me. It's called the Scriptures. It's from the Scripture Institute research.
Okay.
And what they did is they kept the name of God in Hebrew. So every time the name of God shows up throughout all of the Scriptures, it shows the Tetragrammaton. So it's Yod He Vav He. So it's all in Hebrew, right? And it
Yes.
kept all the Hebrew names intact also, right? Moshe, Avraham, you understand? Yitzhak, Eliyahu. It keeps all the Hebrew names in there. And so there's just a deeper connection I have found, obviously, because I'm Hebrew myself, but just so much of a more like, wow. But when I came to Psalms, I couldn't believe how much David said the name. How much he said the name. And you look at that, it's like he was the one that was said to have a heart after Yahweh. And he calls out to him. It is so many times all the way through. And I remember asking one of my Jewish friends, I'm like, you know, God said, and it says in Exodus 20, do not bring my name to naught. That's the actual little Hebrew translation of don't say my name in vain.
Yes.
It's don't bring my name to nothing.
Yes.
Bringing his name to nothing is not saying his name. You know what I mean? It's like not even saying his name. It's like, hello, that's what he said. It's one of the commandments. And you look at King David, who just said his name again and again. There's something so powerful when you don't say God, but you connect to his name. There's like a personhood. There's a physical father there. There's a physical being there versus this God way out in the universe that I can't touch, I can't smell, I can't feel, I can't connect with. And it has changed my life. It's changed my walk with him, where I know I'm his daughter and I know who he is and what he does, and I know what his function is. And it is amazingly powerful that when you know part of your identity comes from I am, from him.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Absolutely powerful. This is Danny Johnson. We're going to continue with more right after this.
Are there secrets for your future hidden in the Word of God? Danny and Rabbi Cahn share some amazing insights next on The Danny Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Danny, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job Domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Did you know you can see Danny Johnson live and in person? Go to DannyJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DannyJohnson.com/FSTS.
My name is Andres and I'm from Latvia. Prior to plugging into DannyJohnson.com, I was a struggling English teacher back home. I had a language school that I started when I was 21 and had grown it to be pretty okay in my city. But at the same time, I had acquired a debt of $60,000. In a matter of 8 to 9 months, I got rid of my debt. And by 2011, we had our first $1 million year. This has been amazing. We grew our school from about 100 students to 2,000 students, and I can only highly recommend for you to come to the next event and be part of this community and learn the tools that will help you to succeed.
Prior to plugging into DannyJohnson.com, my family and I were hemorrhaging under the pressures of debt. Since attending First Steps to Success in January of 2014, my family and I have paid off over $147,000 in 19 months. We're completely consumer debt free. We have restored relationships, and our business is growing at a rate of 15% at every event. Your next step is to sign up for the next First Steps to Success and start creating your own story.
My name is Jeff Conyers, and prior to First Steps to Success, I was a struggling business owner. I had discovered that my business account went negative $5,000, and I realized that I did not have a business plan and I needed to do something. Fast forward to 1 year after, I have now created, just by implementing the tools at First Steps to Success, over $50,000, created another business, improved my personal and business relationships. Man, it's like the story is forever changing, and it just gets better and better. I don't know about you or what you're going through, but I would highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, we were drowning under a mountain of debt. We were heading to divorce court. We had failing businesses and toxic relationships. Since plugging into First Steps to Success, our marriage has been restored. We have paid off over $56,000 in 11 months. We've helped our community pay off over $300,000 in 14 months. My business has grown in over 600% in 4 months. And for the first time, I could say I'm just loving life. I have great relationships. So if you are fine where you are, then this event is not for you. But if you're ready to reach your goal and to change your life, then I highly recommend that you get registered for the next event.
Hi, my name is Jill Kearns. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Prior to coming to First Steps to Success, my husband and I were struggling financially and were hurting in our relationship a lot. We needed more time together, and we just were struggling with that because of the finances. And so since plugging in, we've actually paid off over $280,000 in debt. We're completely debt-free, and more than anything else, the look on my husband's face of relief and excitement about where our future lies, and the traveling and the fun, enjoyable times that we'll get to spend together as a family is totally worth it. So if you want to have better relationships with your significant other, your children, if you have a desire to be completely debt-free and released from that bondage for whatever reason, whatever the burdens are, your next step is to get to First Steps to Success right now.
So prior to getting started to DannyJohnson.com, I was a college dropout. I was working a bottom of the barrel type job. I started plugging into her training. I've skyrocketed through the ranks of corporate America. I've tripled my income in the last 5 years. That's all fine and dandy, but it wasn't, there's a part of me that had a part missing. So I ended up using Danny's prospecting skills, and I ended up meeting the love of my life. Since then, we've paid off $32,000 of debt since October 2014. So get here now. This is the greatest thing ever. You have to see this. The skills and strategies Danny teaches are unbelievable. They totally took someone like me with no education and helped me just like multiply my efforts. So you need to be here.
Faith, hope, love, and sometimes a good swift kick. You'll find them all here. This is the Danny Johnson Show.
I don't know if you know this or not, but you could be on the verge of your entire life changing. Yeah. You know, if you look back on your life, there's a number of different events that have taken place that caused you to get off of one path and put you on another one that then brought you to a special place. That might be today. Today might be the day where you encounter something or someone that can put you on a path that you've been hoping for, dreaming for, praying for, asking for. It could be the thing you need to hear that pulls you out of confusion, that lifts your face, encourages you, inspires you to do far greater things than what you've even imagined. Joining me today, my friend, Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, an incredible best-selling author, but more importantly, an incredible man of God. His books have really transformed me, have answered some things, have touched me in deep places. I've wept through his books. I've shared his books with my friends, my family, as well as our clients and our friends who watch here on The Danny Johnson Show. So we're talking about Jonathan Cahn's most recent book, Book of Mysteries. I cannot wait. I'm going to go hide in a closet somewhere and just start reading. I'm so excited. So, Jonathan, I'm serious. What can people expect from this book? What are they going to get out of it?
I think they're going to get what I believe are really the deepest mysteries of God, mysteries of the age, mysteries of the end times, mysteries of the rabbis, mysteries, things to blow away, and to touch your mind. But most importantly, to take it to go more intimately with God. You and I, Danny, we spoke about one mystery, and we said off the air. I said this is like worship, because it's intimacy that God to bring us deeper into God's presence. It's a love story. I mean, there's a in the book we can talk about it. But there's a whole mystery about the bride and groom, which goes throughout the whole book. There are mysteries that keep building throughout the whole book. But it's all about God drawing us to Himself, and that is the most. I mean, that's the greatest joy, greatest thing. There are mysteries like how to enter the heavenly dimension. Even now, how there's the mystery of living in the 8th day. Now, there's the mystery of the secret angels. They're all around. You've met them. There's something called the 7 mysteries of your life, that God has set up your life, all of our lives. If we know Him, our lives are set up according to the ancient Hebrew calendar.
Yes, they are. They really are.
Everything is. These are appointed times. God has an appointment, and there's a destiny with every one of us. There's a destiny, and to find that destiny.
Yes. In fact, when I read the Shemitah, it was the trippiest thing, right? Because you have all the graphs about what had happened in the stock market and all this. I literally went back to the very beginning of my life, and I noted, oh, wow, you have to be kidding me. Every 7 years is when there would be a disaster. Every 7 years without fail. I was like, that's that year, because you list the years, right? And I'm like, wait a second, this happened to me in that year, and this happened to me in that year. No, seriously, it really is that calendar. He really does it according to what He established from the beginning of the foundation of the earth. And I have a pet peeve. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. I do my best not to, but I'm going to right now. It's part of what frustrates me, Jonathan Cahn. It's part of what frustrates me. I want the church. I want the body of the Messiah. I want the people that say they follow Him to read His book, read the Bible, follow it. He didn't change His mind on what holidays not to keep. I've been following these for the last 3 years now, 4. Jonathan, my life has been so richly blessed with celebrating all the holidays that God has in the Bible. They are richly blessing me. It's my father's traditions, and there's something beautiful. Last year for Sukkot, all my grandchildren there. I made this huge feast. We built the tent, had it all beautifully lit with all the candles, all of us sitting outside eating, 7 different kinds of fruit, 7 different kinds of meats, right? Made 2 huge challahs, it was such a beautiful feast and such a time of rejoicing. I thought, how? Why? Why is the church not doing this?
Yeah, because 2,000 years ago was this split. And the thing is, most of the Jewish people lost the Messiah, the whole part of everything. But people don't realize the church also lost a treasure.
Yes.
Lost the roots, lost the richness.
Our identity. We lost the identity.
It was there at the beginning, and now as we get to the end, it's coming back. That's why I believe He's bringing Jewish people back into Messiah, and He's bringing churches back to their roots. It's not a thing of being under the law. It's a thing of the richness of our faith. And I didn't realize that. Well, no, if you read you can read the Book of Mysteries however you like, but if you did it by taking day 1 as January 1st, what would happen is when you get to the time of the holidays of the Bible, you'll see there'll be mysteries about the holidays when you get to that point. And in fact, there were several times we didn't even plan it. We looked at it, and it turned out just randomly that on the exact days that were the mysteries of the holidays, and we didn't even put it in. So we did some of it, but it's there. So that's there too. The whole year has the biblical year within it.
What I have found with keeping all those holidays is the intimacy with my Father. And see, our identity, even psychologists have proved this, that your identity is not found in your mother. It's not found in your brother. It's not found in your sister. It's not found in your work. But your identity is identified in your Father. Yeah. And so there's been such a deep connection that has happened of me understanding my Father, my Daddy, Abba. Like, it is intense, the love, the father-daughter trips that we've had together, like one in Israel 2 years ago. It was just a father-daughter trip. It was amazing. So having that kind of intimacy with him, and that's what I see that you're writing about in the book, because what does a mystery do? It draws you closer in to discover, right? That's exactly what that is it draws you in to discover something profound, something powerful, something deep.
Yeah, deeper. And one of the things it'll do, I mean, there's mysteries of every kind, but many of it is restoring those lost treasures of our faith. I mean, that's what it's about. Putting the Jewishness back. It's for everybody. It's not just because Jesus is Jewish. It's everybody's inheritance. If you know God, the Bible says you are a citizen of Israel in the Spirit. So this is part of our lost treasures.
Yes. And you know what? And I feel like we have largely been lost and we've been largely robbed. Like when I started to celebrate these, I was like, we've been robbed. We've been stolen from. And there's a replacement, like Easter, which is the worship of Estar, versus Pesach, Passover, which is like, oh my gosh, so beautiful, so powerful, so wonderful, so amazing, so meaningful. And yet bunnies and eggs, which is worshiping a goddess of fertility. It's like there's been a replacement that the church has fallen into. And I love what I'm hearing you say. And by the way, I told you this years ago where I said, I feel like my mandate is to backfill what's been stolen from the Christians. To backfill it in, to fill in those roots. And so I've been teaching on my show each one of the holidays and doing studies for people. Like, go research this stuff, go do this yourself. And I can't tell you, so many people celebrating Shabbat now, not from a legalistic standpoint, but from the blessing standpoint, from the richness standpoint, the food, the wine, I mean, all of it. People keeping Pesach and Sukkot and building sukkahs and Shavuot and all of that. I mean, it's really such a beautiful thing that I've watched happen in our clients and our friends and our listeners and our viewers of the show, how it's richly, richly blessed. So this book is obviously going to be a very rich, deep blessing. Again, Walmart, Amazon, anywhere. He's a New York Times bestseller. You can get the Book of Mysteries. This is Danny Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay right here for more of The Danny Johnson Show.
Hi, this is Danny Johnson. Let me ask you something. Do you dream about being more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? Are you that girl who never learned to wear makeup and now you're lost in a sea of YouTube videos? That busy mom who can't get enough sleep and just wants to feel pretty again? Or maybe you're that professional who wants a little more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, celebrity makeup artist Xtina Harmsworth from XMH Beauty will help you. Xtina has a track record of making beauty easy on any budget. Her live classes, simple step-by-step professional beauty techniques and insider secrets will set you apart from the crowd. So don't sit on your dream another minute. Learn from the best. Get your exclusive free gift from Xtina today at xmhbeauty.com/Danny. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI. Hi, I'm Danny Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. You want to succeed, right? But you do not want to fail God at the same time. There is a way to succeed from a biblical perspective, and it's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Over 500 scriptures I studied to study money, everything that the Bible said about money. That's in the first couple chapters of Spirit-Driven Success. Not to mention leadership, working with people, growing a career, being used mightily in the marketplace, which is where Abraham, God used him in the marketplace. And Joseph, God used him in the marketplace. Moses, God used him in the marketplace. Daniel, Solomon, really all of the greats of faith, most of the greats of faith throughout the Bible, they all were in the marketplace. And God wants to show you how you can be used mightily by him in the marketplace. Right here, Spirit-Driven Success is where all of my notes are on how you can do that. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Spirit-Driven Success today.
The way you look at things is about to change. And now, back to the Danny Johnson Show.
I don't know about you, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I hope you have felt like you were just sitting with an incredible man, Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, who's a friend, a brother, who really I've shared some intimate things with him, and he has helped walk me through, which is absolute love. He blows my mind in every way. The new book, The Book of Mysteries, I cannot wait. As soon as we're done with this show, it's going to be on my Kindle, and I'm going to be reading that thing. Then I need a physical copy so I can dog ear, highlight, write notes in the margin, and then go through it all over again. Jonathan, this is our final segment. What do you say to the person who's thinking about getting that book today? What's in there that they gotta have?
Well, one is, I believe, whether you're a believer, whether you're not a believer, it will blow you. There'll be days of being blown away. It will take you deeper. It will show you things that, the Bible, Jesus said, actually, God says in Jeremiah, call to me and I'll show you great and mighty things you know not of. Yes. So this will be, there's no end to what God has for you. And so I believe not only will you be blown away because it's God, not man, but also it will transform your life. And for victory, for blessing, it'll revitalize you, it'll revive you, because that's what God is. So it's, and ultimately to discover the mystery of your life and the appointed times that God has for you, the destiny that God has for you, because he says, also, I know the plans I have for you. They're great and they're wonderful, and I will show it to you. And that's what it is. The ultimate mystery is between God and you need to seek it. You'll discover it.
Amen. That is absolute truth right there, 100%. So, Jonathan Cahn's book, The Book of Mysteries. I think you need to get all three, honestly, friend. You need The Harbinger. It's so powerful. Easy read as well. Like you just are burning through those pages. You can't get enough of it. The Shemitah was another one, burning through. I could not get enough of it. And then now this, The Book of Mysteries. And you just know this. You know what? Sometimes, not that often that you get to know the author. Not that often you get to know the heart of the person who actually wrote it. I don't know if you realize this, but I don't interview a lot of authors on my show for a reason. But when I know the heart and the character of the person, and I know where they're coming from, and that's what I do with Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. He is a precious man who loves God, who loves you, loves his family. He is a rare, real, humble gem. Get a copy of the book and get a copy of all three while you're at it. The Harbinger, the Shemitah, and the Book of Mysteries. You'll burn through all three of them, and your life will be transformed, as my life has been transformed as a direct result of my life encountering this amazing Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. Well, that's it for us today. We hope that today was a blessing for you. Please let us know. We would love for you to write us. If you come over to the website, DannyJohnson.com, and you will see where it says watch. You can see, again, you can watch the repeat of the show if you've caught it live. You can catch the repeat of the show. You can share that show with anyone that you choose to share it with as well. Don't just keep this information to yourself. Share it with everybody that you know. We are very blessed that you joined us today. God bless you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
This has been The Danny Johnson Show. If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DannyJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it.
Hi, welcome to the Danny Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good.